and welcome back to BookTube with Amy. I'm going to start off with an apology in advance if you hear squeaking and general dog daftiness. We just got the dog a new toy which he is absolutely loving, and there is absolutely no way that he will put it down for the duration of me filming a video. So So today I'm doing the intimidating TBR tag, and I was tagged in this by Books with B. So Bianca and her channel are quite new to me, however her content is absolutely hysterical, so go check it out if you haven't already subscribed. She reads a lot of YA fantasy, some contemporary, but her editing it's just hysterical, so go check it out. The original tag was created by Lindsay Gray. So when it comes to intimidating TBRs, mine is definitely intimidating. Out of all the books that I physically own, I have 376 books that I am yet to read. And I still buy books at the rate of knots, so we'll have quite a few to talk about today, do not worry. And B is just calling me out by making me do this tag and making me look at this humongous pile of chunky boy books that I'm gonna like need to read at some point. So this is going to be the Necronomicon by H.P. Lovecraft. I am obviously a huge horror reader, and I decided that I wanted to go back and read some of the classic horror stories and read some of like the origin stories for a lot of current works. And Simon bought me a huge humongous bind up of H.P. Lovecraft, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but it is humongous and there is no way that I could possibly read that all in one go. It is a huge hardback edition that he's got me, and the pages are like Bible page thin, so there's just no way ever that I would sit down and physically read that so much. So it's something that I have been dipping into and reading a few stories here and there. That being said, it's not the most thrilling read. I feel like a lot of the themes and a lot of the topics of the stories tend to be quite samey, but like I appreciate that he's gone on then to inspire loads of horror authors over the years. The Familiar by Mark Z. Danielewski. So Simon and I got this beginning of last year maybe, and the plan is that we were going to read it. Well, that's the plan with every book that you're going to buy, I guess that's like given, but it is in typical Mark Z. Danielewski form, where it is, you know, got illustrations and the words are just doing something a wee bit different, and you sort of need to be paying attention to it. And I just have not had the time really to sit and physically give to this book. I did start to read it last year because it was on the huge TBR I set for myself, and I only got to page 80 before I sacked it and gave in, because I just don't really have the time to sit and physically read as much as I used to. I'm doing a lot of audiobooks these days, to be honest with you, and even then, like if I am reading a book I tend to do that part audio, part physically as well. But I feel like you can't do a Mark Z. Danielewski book on audio, because what's the point in reading a Mark Z. Danielewski if you're just going to listen to it? Like, you want to see all the cool stuff that he's doing on the pages. So we are going on holiday at the end of the year. I might take this, I might not, we will see, but it's definitely something that I want to get around to. I just need to properly devote the time to it. Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. So this is like book set after the Raven cycle, I believe, and I obviously couldn't read this one until I had finished the Raven cycle, and I devoured those last year. That's the dog just moving my camera. Thanks, son. And I did that again. I devoured the Raven cycle last year, thoroughly enjoyed it, and so I cannot wait to get to these. This is the first one. I still have to purchase the second one, and I believe that the third one is out later this year. I would not attempt to do the Maggie Stevewater book until the series was finished. I was trying to say concluded and finished. Listen, I started work at 5 o'clock this morning, like my brain is not here right now. Till the series was finished, because I know how binge-worthy her writing is. So this has been sitting on my shelf, staring at me until I finish the Raven cycle and until the other ones were going to be released so I can binge them. That is The Memory Trees by Callie Wallace. I just received this in a book box, so absolutely buzzing to get to read this. It sounds so amazing and so up my street. It's not too chonky a boy, it's no overly intimidating, but it is the newest book, so I felt like it still fitted the prompt. A Facelift Glass by Frances Hardin. I don't remember what other book I tried to read by Frances Hardin. I'm looking over here because I have a pile of books unhauled, and I unhauled the other one. Was it The Lie Tree I tried to read? Anyway, it was another one by her, and I just couldn't get on board with it. I really didn't enjoy it, and I was going to unhaul this one when I did my most recent unhaul, but I decided to keep a hold of it because it sounds like something I would really enjoy, but I just didn't want to waste my time. But it sounds like it could be so up my street. I'll need to give it a go, but it does intimidate me just because I don't want to start it and then absolutely hate it, and I feel like I might. I am one of these people where I am like so influenced by a previous experience, so I find it really difficult to give an author another chance, and if I do give them another chance and they still disappoint me, I get like so butthurt about it. Like I take it so personally, it's not even funny. So I'll need to get to it at some point, but it's definitely not going to be this year because we aren't starting any more new series until I've finished all the ones that I have currently got on the go. This isn't even the first in a series, so I am just like making up excuses not to read this book. What's wrong with me? Master of One, and this is by Jada Jones and Danny Bennett. This sounds such a great book. Like it sounds so up my street. I've got the Fairy Loot edition, which is absolutely beautiful. Like it is signed. It's got glittery red sprayed edges, which like, if I was going to pick a sprayed edge ever, would that not just be my favourite? Like, let's be honest. And it's absolutely gorgeous. Look, it's stunning. It's so beautiful. And the book actually sounds amazing. It's like fairy spies on a wee quest, trying to find like relics. It sounds brilliant, and I haven't ever picked up because I feel like it's such a chunky boy. Like, and so then every time I'm coming in to like have a wee nosy at books and decide what it is that I'm fancying, like it's never this. I just feel like I am never in the mood, even though it sounds like my type of book. Like I'm excited about it now because I'm in the middle of 3 other books. If I wasn't in the middle of 3 other books, I'd be like, nah, I'm not feeling it. Read your books, bitch. The Shadow Magic Trilogy by What's no? The Shadow Magic Trilogy by John Lenahan. So this is actually 3 books in one, in the big one, floppy chunky bind up, and it intimidates me because the size of it. And I know the type of person that I am, because it is like 3 books within the one. Like I couldn't just read the first one and then stop and then go read something else. So when I decide that I'm going to read these, like I'm going to need to read the 3 of them back to back, which is a big commitment, I feel. And actually, like the book isn't that bad in terms of page count. It's only like 850. It's not like the most humongous book I've ever even read, but I feel like it's a commitment to read 3 books back to back. And I know that that's daft, because if I had these separately and it wasn't in a bind up, I'd probably just read the first one and then decide if I wanted to read the second one. And I do binge series sometimes, so like there's every chance I could want to read the 3 of them back to back, because this book sounds like amazing to me. It's supposed to be so funny. Like, Joe Brand has recommended it on the back, and Joe Brand is just one of my favourite humans, and it's sold like Lord of the Rings meets Percy Jackson, but absolutely hysterical. That is my dream, is it no? Like, hello. I don't know at what point I'm going to pick this up in my life, but I absolutely need to. Like, it sounds amazing. I just need to bite the bullet, I think. But could definitely be on the hit list for next year. The Optin of Me. So this actually doesn't have bad reviews, in fairness to it, right? There's like a couple, but like, that's standard. It's not like the majority of reviews of this book are terrible. The thing is there's just not a great deal of reviews. I bought this totally on the hype because it's gorgeous. Like, it is so shiny on the back, and it's got all the wee cogs and stuff, and it's so steampunky. It's got black, beautiful glittered sprayed edges. Like, the inside is absolutely gorgeous. It came in a presentation box. Like, it's got its own wee dictionary. I bought it for the hype of the packaging, right? I was that gal that one time. We're moving on. And the book is gorgeous, but I feel like the size of it makes it so intimidating. And the thing for me as well is because it's such a pretty book, like, I'll be so scared of damaging it. And I do a lot of my reading, as I say often enough, on the bus to and from work. Like, and I don't want to just throw this in my briefcase and have it like bouncing about all over the place when I know it's such an expensive, gorgeous book. So it'd make me less inclined to just like read it on the go. And like, we don't want to be getting into a position where we've got like house books and bus books, you know, like that's even more confusing. But I feel like I've been putting this off a wee bit just because there isn't a huge amount of reviews on it, and I'm like, why has everybody and their dog bought this book and nobody's read it? Even though I'm one of the people, so other people might be feeling the same. But it's one I'm definitely going to need to give a go. This is defo on the top of my TBR for next year. But this year, as I've said about 1,000 times, because I am keeping myself accountable, I am trying to finish all of the series that I currently have on the go. So I'm not going to be starting any more because the next one of this comes out at Christmas. So I am going to cheat slightly, and I'm going to have 2 answers for this because there's similar reasons as to why both of them are as intimidating. So the first one is The Chronicles of Thomas Covenant the Unbeliever by Stephen Donaldson, and this is the first 3 books in the one bind up. And then we have The Sum of All Men by David Farland. So the reason that these are both as intimidating to me is because they are both the first books in a multiple part series, and we know what I'm like for finishing a series, but I have genuinely had both these series on my shelf for the same amount of time, and it's probably going on 4 or 5 years now, and I have picked neither of them up to read, even though they both sound absolutely brilliant. I've heard quite a few people talk about the David Farland series, the Rune Lords Chronicles, or just the Rune Lords series, I think. I've heard a few people talk about them on BookTube, but I have not heard a single person speak about the Stephen Donaldson books, but I definitely want to read both of them. Like, they look so good and they just sound so up my street, but I just have a terrible time of no picking up high fantasy. Even though I thoroughly enjoy it, I feel like with high fantasy it takes me a wee bit more effort to get into the world and to get into the story, whereas with YA I can pick it up and just be like, boom, cool, sold, I'm in it. And I feel like with epic or high fantasy there's a wee bit more of a build up, which always makes me a wee bit hesitant to start it because I know that's going to be the case and I never enjoy that. But then like when I'm in it, I love it. But I think David Farland's 8-part series and Stephen Donaldson's a lot longer. So I have the first 1, 2, I have the first 2 books in the series are the first 6 books in the series because I have 2 double bind ups, and then I have a further 2 books which I think are singles that are paperback, and then I have a hardback, and then I think there's also another one that's out that I don't have. I think there's also another David Farland that I don't have that is really difficult to get to complete the series. So like, I still need to get the last couple of books, and I feel like that's also putting me off reading them. I mean, that's a bit of a cop-out excuse because I could absolutely catch up and then buy the last ones, but like, it's just such a commitment of my time. But again, I reckon I'm going to need to read both of these at the beginning of next year. Maybe no both of them. I'll maybe do one, right, and then, or the other, and then see how we go. I'll maybe know what to start 2 high fantasy series next year when I've just rambled about how much I struggle to get into them. See, oh, I'm already talking myself out of my TBR for next year, like, and it's not even next year. What is wrong with me? I'm like stressed looking at all these books right now. I had so much fun doing this tag, and I am clearly terrible at both buying books and reading books because I have far too many and I just haven't read them. But I will not put myself on a book buying ban because I just won't. They bring me happiness, so tough basically. But hopefully you've enjoyed watching, and I really enjoyed doing this tag actually. I went to my shelves and it was really fun just to have a wee look through and decide like, what have we not picked up yet? Why have I not picked this up? And basically it's just because I'm an idiot, but it was fun nonetheless to discover that. I am going to tag Ange from Angie's Book Chatter. I am going to tag Sarah from Sadie Reads Again, and I'm going to tag Scott and Nell from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. They're all my BookTube besties, so please go check them out if you haven't already. They're brilliant, love them all. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're enjoying everything that you're reading at the moment. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!